Tonight, tributes to Chadwick Boseman continue to come in from around the world. The actor, who will forever be known for playing the first major black superhero, died Friday at 43 years old. His many fans and nearly everyone he worked with had no idea that he'd been battling colon cancer. Here's CBS's Michelle Miller.
Chadwick Boseman wasn't just the face of the blockbuster Black Panther movie franchise. He was a one-of-a-kind inspiration.
I'm sorry to say, Black Panther, I'm sorry to say he's not Black Jesus. He's not going to resurrect and come back and save black people from their pain and sorrows, bondage and captivity. No, this man is dead. God rest his soul. Hopefully he gave his life to Christ before he passed. But now, guess what? Another trick of Satan. His gifts are promised temporarily, so you enjoy fortune and fame, but then there's a hook to it, and that hook is poison, is death. Unless God, through his grace, delivers that individual. But now look at this, Black Panther. This is the king right here. Wakanda forever. No, Wakanda is not forever because this man just lost his life. And now look at how the world gonna remember him. But was that God's destiny for his life? I mean, we make our own choices. We could choose to go down the path that God called us to follow, or we could choose to go down the path that we want to go. And there's consequences for everything. Obedience to the Lord leads to life. Life and more abundantly. And disobedience to the Lord leads to death and shortage of life. So this man was young, very, very young. I'm not saying that, that he's, that I know one thing for sure, that he wasn't saved. So I'm not saying that, he might not have, he probably didn't give his life to Christ, on his deathbed. I'm not saying that. He could have done that and repented. But for one thing for sure, this man wasn't saved. And the message that was being projected in here wasn't based off of safe. It wasn't to cause people to get to know Christ and cause people to be saved and cause people to be delivered out of their sins. No, it was about getting people more involved in idol worships and ancestor worship, dead spirits worships, which is demons. Mark themselves, put paint on their faces and put some African attire on. Most of them didn't even understand what they were doing. They just felt like they were connecting with Africans, connecting back with their roots. But then our roots is what led us to captivity in the first place, because our ancestors worshiped the dead and sacrificed babies and sacrificed, life, like we are doing in this day and time right now. So you say Wakanda forever, Black Panther? I'm sorry, it's not.
A leading man in a string of films immortalizing the lives of historical black icons. Everyone from Oprah Winfrey to the Obamas expressed sorrow over his death. But it hasn't just been the famous who are feeling the pain. Millions of fans of all kinds continue to grieve.
It made me feel sad.
Take 7-year-old Kian Westbrook, who held his own memorial for Boseman outside his Florissant, Missouri home. In attendance, all of his Avenger action figures. Boseman's Black Panther lying atop a shoebox draped in black. His father's Twitter posts earned more than 500,000 likes.
He was a very good man, and I loved him so much.
And you wanted to say goodbye?
Yes, and he still loved to my heart.
Boseman played the characters of Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, Jackie Robinson, and James Brown. But he was a late bloomer by Hollywood standards. The Howard University graduate studied in England and directed plays in New York before landing his first big movie role at 36. But playing King T'Challa represented a pivotal moment in his career as well as for all people of color.
It was a revolutionary one that we knew we could throw a lot of our
So, hold up, yo. Stop playing, yo. I don't even. All people of color, yo. All people of color, yo. Do you know that's deception? Do you know that's deception? All people of color. This is what. Then this man here that play a role that's supposed to represent all people of color. All of a sudden he dies at the age of 43. A young man. This man here. Are you serious? Is this how people of color stories are being told? Is this how it ends? Like, come on. That's not God's plan. That's not Christ's plans for us. The wages of sin is death. The wages of sin is death. And that's why we have to repent and be in God's glory. Be in his presence. Be in his grace. Because every day that we breathe, this breath, this air that we breathe is borrowed breath and borrowed air from the Most High. He breathed into the nostril of Adam. That breath is what we're breathing each day. Every child is born. Every human being that's alive. He breathed his breath of life into the nostril of Adam. And so we owe him life. We owe him righteousness. We owe him to be in obedience to the Most High. So then, when we disobey him, that's sin. The wages of sin is death. The wages of disobeying the Most High is death. So this film got put out, and this film summoned a whole bunch of black people into idol worships, ancestors worship, dead spirits worships, and we took that into our houses, introduce our generations, our kids, the next generations, the generations to come, introduce that to them. And we Wakanda forever, Black Panther forever, just because it's black folks in there. But guess who banked off of it? Who made a whole bunch of money off of it? Hollywood, Marvel Studio. And guess what? These black actor and actresses barely even made over $100,000. Barely. So you tell me, whose agenda is this? Whose plan is this? Black Panther. We need to repent as black folks. We need to repent, come back to the Most High, come back to him. Ask for forgiveness each day. Each day we should strive to be like him. Get rid of all this paganism. Get rid of all this idol worship. All these holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter has nothing to do with Christ. Has nothing to do with Christ. That's Vatican stuff. That's not Christian. That's not being a Christian. Being a Christian is being Christ-like. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Black Panther, all these holidays are all paganisms. Pagan religions. That's Christianity. That's not being Christ-like. That's not being a Christian. That's Christianity. Christianity as a religion. That's the Vatican. That's them. That's them. Being Christ-like is rejecting this world and denouncing this world for the glory of the Most High. And is being in obedience to the Most High. That's being Christ-like. Saying, not my will be done, but let thy will be done. And if this world starts to love you, or love what you do, you have to be concerned, because the world loves its own. The world doesn't love Christ. The world doesn't approve of Christ. So if the world is approving of you and giving you pass and love you like they love Black Panther and love all this T'Challa, King, all this stuff here, then you know it's a problem. And to me, like, to I'm not trying to take away from the actors and actresses, great actors and actresses. Like some of my favorite actors and actresses in here. But then we have a prince. No, we have a king. King that Wakanda had vibranium. Vibranium. Wakanda had all the power. Had power to bring justice and help its neighbor, help its people, help their people. But Wakanda chose not to. The king chose not to. He sought on, he concealed vibranium, didn't share that power with anybody, kept it a secret, and watched as many black folks or Africans die from poverty, from war, from conquerors, from whatever. King T'Challa wasn't like, no. I'm not a fan of him because guess what? Even his own people wasn't a fan of him. The rhino dude. Remember the rhino dude that was like, you know what, man, y'all, all this, all that, no vengeance, no, you ain't settle scores for us, but you have all this and you sitting on this and our people going through this and going through that. The rhino dude turned on him towards the end and joined Killmonger. Same as the gorilla dudes. When T'Challa came for help, and they came for help in the mountain when the king was like dead, supposed to be dead after he got defeated by Killmonger. And his mom and the ladies and women and they came over to the gorilla dudes in the mountain, asked them to come help, and it was like, this is the first time that any king, this is the first time that the king of Wakanda have ever stepped foot over here. He was like, nah, I ain't helping you. And that's why the gorilla dudes, that's why their leader came to challenge him. King T'Challa came to challenge him because he was like, hold up. I'm going to challenge you because you're not fit as a king. You haven't been doing us justice. Your neighbors, us, the gorilla dudes in the mountains, the rhino dudes, your people, black people all across the world. You got all this power, you got all this stuff here, and you choose not to help your people? So it's like, is this the type of king that we want? But this is the type of king that they want us to want. To accept, to the king who's willing to let his people die and sacrifice and perish because he was too coward and afraid of what the world might discover about Wakanda. So he sat on all that power, him and his father sat on all the power of vibranium, didn't help, even when the opportunity came for him to help Killmonger, was like, yo, come on, man, like, hold up. That kid was left in America to go through hell all by himself, probably lived through foster home. His dad got killed by his brother. Killmonger, father gone, dead. African American in this land going through hell. So for me, I'm a fan of Killmonger, not T'Challa, because Killmonger stood for something. T'Challa stood for himself, and I mean, like, Black Panther. Are we serious? So, it's sad, man. But I mean, I hope that he gave his life to Christ, and I hope that he rests in peace.
Action into.
Boseman kept his colon cancer diagnosis in 2016 private, continuing to work during treatment. Even Black Panther director Ryan Coogler was in the dark. Because he was a caretaker, a leader, and a man of faith, dignity, and pride, he shielded his collaborators from his suffering. But the shock of his death shines a light on a cancer that affects black men and women at a higher rate than any other group, partly because it requires access to good testing and quality medical care.
Young people like Chad are diagnosed at later stage.
Despite his disease, Bozeman worked to the very end, fully aware that superheroes aren't just in the movies.
Wakanda forever!
And Nora, yet another real-life story he sought to tell. Just 2 weeks ago, he signed on to produce a TV series about the Little Rock Nine, those young black students who led the fight to desegregate public schools in the landmark Supreme Court case, Brown versus the Board of Education.
He was hoping to contribute so much more. Michelle, thank you.
Okay. So, there we have it, Black Panther. The wages of sin is death. And, he was a great actor. And, sad that he had to die and pass away so soon. But it's for us to wake up. It's for us to wake up as black folks. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up to the truth. Wake up to the Most High. Repent. Repent for our ancestors. Repent for the curses that has been placed upon us. The curses of the parents are passed on to the children. Generations, the third, fourth generations is passed on to them. And the curses what we're dealing with right now. Don't get hustled by Satan. Don't get played by Satan into thinking that that's who God is. Our God, the Most High, is holy and righteous. We're not. But our desire, our heart, it should be to be like Him, be like Christ. And our will should be in obedience to Him. And when it's not, then wages of sin is death. So, Black Panther, younger generation, wake up, wake up, wake up, repent. Don't claim Black Panther. Don't claim no deities. Don't claim no idols. Don't claim no celebrities. Don't claim no actors and actresses. Don't claim no star. Only claim the Most High. Only claim Christ, because only by the blood of Christ that we've been saved and we've been redeemed. So, this is my, take on the Black Panther and the spiritual connections that led us to captivity. The strengths, spiritual strengths and connections that led us to bondage, worshiping idols. The Most High told us not to have no other God. Don't have no other God. Don't have any other God but Him. The Most High told us not to have any other God but Him. Don't worship no idols. Not on the earth or in the heavens, in the stars. Don't do that. Just Christ. Just the Most High. That's Him. His righteousness, His holiness. Of course the world's going to promote that. But you think they're going to promote the scriptures? They're going to promote the 10 Commandments? No. Why you think they took prayer out of school, took the Bible out of school, and took God out of school? So that makes a way so that it's easier for this nonsense, this death, this poison right here to be pendered to us, because now we have no knowledge of who the Most High is and who we are. So we now being educated, supposed to be the head, but now we're being educated by the tail. So how much knowledge you think we are consuming? How much you think the tail is going to be able to elevate us and get us to that place where we need to be with the Most High? You think the tail really have the answers? No, he doesn't. Only the Most High. Only the Most High. So we have to be obedient, repent, humble ourselves, ask for forgiveness, and get back to how it used to be with the Most High. Alright, so Christ forever. Wakanda is not forever. Christ forever. Alright.